What up, what up, what up, what up? It is Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the Square One is back.
What's
We don't have the
up?
four-headed months, but we have one even better, the three-headed months. Just as good.
You know what I'm saying?
What's going on, Mr. Roberto?
I'm good. Danny, how you feeling?
I'm feeling well, man. What's going on, Mr. Nzo?
I'm good, man. What about you?
Man, I'm feeling good. It is cold here today, man. Let me see what this it's cold and raining all day here today in South Kakalaki. I ain't used to this.
Little nippy up here. I won't lie myself.
Mm-hmm.
53 degrees. I don't know what it is for y'all, but 53 and raining is cold for us.
Oh, that's like spring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah.
We can handle that easy.
Yeah, I know y'all can, but I can't, man. I ain't built for that. I commend y'all. I take my hats off to you. I could not stay and live in that cold environment like y'all do. I don't do very well with cold at all.
But there's different kind of cold. Like, where was I? I was somewhere where it wasn't as cold as Montreal, but it just touched your bones, you know? It was like bone cold. I don't know if there's a temperature description for that.
Yeah,
but I'm sure some people have felt
that
below
before.
50. Okay.
For me, it is.
Well, you get used to it, Danny. Eventually, you know, like you get accustomed to the heat.
Yeah, I can take the heat a little bit better, but man, like every morning in the wintertime when it's really bad, y'all got to shovel your way out. No.
Yeah, we had our first snowfall already, so
Yeah.
didn't stay, but we had it
You
already.
would think somebody would create some kind of melting machine or something. Just
There'd be too much water.
like a big ass doggone blow dryer or something.
Hey, see, I ain't worried about that. What we would need to worry about is just cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We need them to mess with the weather and make Montreal warm all year round. Spring weather all year round would be perfect.
That'd be nice. I could stand about 65, 70 year round.
I could take fall all year round.
Fall too.
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
For me, you know why I like fall on some?
Mm.
Because there's none of them barbecue killer, swimming pool vibe killer, wasp flying around ruining your shit. Because we have, I don't know about by you, Anzo, but by me and by my work, we don't want to go outside, man.
Why?
Wasp everywhere. And these guys don't just fly around like bees and go doing their business. These guys are, the term as they use, terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call them, bad boys. And you know, you play that role. Oh, they don't bite, don't bug them, they won't bite you. Then people get bit, yo.
People that watch them, without getting into it, I'm just going to tell you about a very entertaining text that me, Nzo, and Roberto were part of earlier this week. I thought it was very funny. I was at my job like, wow, this is incredible. It was about a particular move in basketball, and I'm not going to get into it. It was back and forth. One day we'll share it to you. To me, it was very entertaining. I really needed some popcorn. I was like, this is just a drill. This ain't a real game. It was funny. It was entertaining, but man, we had them kind of text between each other, man. It was good. It was a good time, man. It was a good time.
Yeah. We agreed to disagree sometimes, you know.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. But I was like, damn. Boy.
That's why I think, you know, we could pull off the Kornheiser and what's his name kind of thing, you know, because like the old school me and Anzo, we wouldn't give up, Danny.
I can tell you, I didn't give up this time.
No, I gave up. I said, you know, I saw where we were going, and I said, nah, Dred, I'm at work. I don't want my blood pressure all irregular, you know. And then Anzo can push buttons, yo. You know, because he's like a pit bull when it comes to pushing buttons.
I can see him stomping on this one. I'm going to get it.
I want to continue.
We agreed that we ain't those people no more. No need to provoke bringing those people back. You know, I'm happy in the skin I'm in right now. And I'm man up to say, you know what? Not that I'm wrong. That it's not worth arguing. It's not worth getting to the point where, you know, our show goes down or our friendship gets questioned. It's not worth it, man. It's really not worth it.
I definitely agree.
There's nothing in that stupid argument that would have ever made me
Anzo, you never know. I might have ticked you.
No.
You might have ticked
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You know, you reach down, pull certain hairs. You know,
100%. I agree. Probably would have ticked off, but like to let something as trivial as a stupid, whether you travel or not, stop the flow. That would have never. I would have never let that happen. I'd have called you and
well, it's
apologized.
better to kill it than to say what if.
Yeah.
Dedos.
Yeah.
But you know,
But
one day we'll look
I'll
on
say
and laugh,
this.
like Danny said.
But I'll say this. I know Roberto said, "Oh, you and Danny aren't expert," and Danny said, "All right, I'm out. Peace."
I said, deuces.
You know what, Danny? I was reenacting the move in my backyard. What? I'm ready. Huh? These guys come today. What?
Well, I tell my guys, that's man, when you see something crazy or you don't want to be a part of it, man, go 10-8. That's a 10 code. Like, I got to go, see you later, bounce. That's what I do.
You know what? I'm going to be using that code a lot now. I like that.
10-8.
10-8, I'm out. Google
Anyway,
it. Google it.
Yep. We're going to get into the...
Hold on. Before we start. So I messaged these guys today, and I'm like, fuck, my internet is out. You know what I mean? So I called Videotron and everything. Now, what happened was I went in the back of my TV, and I was fixing up all my wires, right? When I put everything back, shit wasn't working. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I called Videotron, right? And the funny thing about it is they put me on hold. So when they put me on hold, I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on here? So they were like, oh, well, it's not working. We need to send a technician. So in my mind, I'm like, because my modem I don't pay for it anymore, right? So in my mind, I'm like, these motherfuckers just want to come over here so that they could tell me my modem is broken and make me pay for a brand new modem and shit,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, you know what? Let me just go check one of these wires here, right? Because I thought maybe because it's cable, so I thought maybe the cable wire had got pulled and the metal piece inside probably wasn't connecting properly, right? So I unscrewed it and I checked and I looked. I was like, fuck. So then I happened to look and I see my Ethernet cords, right? So I have two slots for Ethernet cords. I have one on my PlayStation and one on my Xbox. So I took the cords out when I was changing the fucking thing. Come to find out, I put the Ethernet cord from the modem back into the modem instead of into my system. And that's what was fucking it up.
Wow. Good thing you know what you're doing.
Lucky you solved it before it cost you.
I was like, these motherfuckers. So now I gotta call them and tell them that they don't need to come anymore.
They do that by you, Danny? They'll come and service you, but if it isn't what you say it is, it's gonna cost you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're like playing roulette.
They always try to upgrade, but I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
No, upgrade here. They want to charge you just for coming. And if it's not that and they fix something else, it's gonna cost you.
Oh yeah, they're gonna charge you for coming. It's a $50 whatever.
Regardless?
Yeah. Most time when you call them like that, especially unless it's their fault. If it's their fault, then they don't pay. But if it's something that you did, yeah, you're gonna get that service fee charge. Yep. Videotron is a bunch of cooks. What's up, Quentin?
I think Bell's 10 times worse than Videotron, but we're on a sports show.
Yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and get into the first question. Last week we were talking about the game of the week, which I thought in my mind, it was 2 games a week. It was Miami versus KC, and then it was Cowboys versus the Eagles. The Eagles came up on top of that. So tell me, how do you think that win, the Eagles, did it affect the Super Bowl landscape, or do you think that, because some people saying that Dallas gave Eagles all they wanted, Skip Bayless and Michael Irvin was just singing their praises, but at the end of the day, they lost. So do you think that the Eagles won by the skin of their teeth, or Dallas lost it?
Could I jump on this first line so you don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Didn't Washington give Philly 2 games where Philly won by the skin of their teeth? I'm not saying Washington's Dallas.
Yeah.
But Washington did it 2 times. So how come no one's talking about Washington should be da-da-da-da-da-da? It is what it is, Danny.
Uh-huh.
No matter how you break it down, what they could have did, Lamb was 10 centimeters away. Yeah, it makes a nice, meme.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, what's the score?
Right.
Sorry. And if it's so good. Oh, it did. Because if Dallas had won that game, oh my God. It's
You're right.
quiet right now.
You're
know?
right, bro.
It's
When I
quiet
saw
right
it, and I saw like they start off on the 14, and they got that doggone pass interference and get up to like the 45. Like, oh my god! Then they get another call for unnecessary roughness. I was like, oh my god, these suckers gonna score. Boy, when they
Keep
stopped
you in
them and they
suspense. Just keep
and
you
they
in
got
suspense, Daddy.
man,
They like to keep you in suspense.
man, they had me about to pull my little bit of hair I got out, man. I did not want Dallas Cowboys win. And I'm telling you right now, you can call me what you want. I'm a Dallas Cowboy hater. If them suckers win, we
I'm
are
right
going to
there
have
with
to
you, bro.
find another planet because they're going to take this one over and act a donkey. I don't want to. They win a Super Bowl. I don't want to be here. Oh, my Lord.
That's all you're going to hear until whatever week it is.
Oh, my gosh.
But they haven't even hit their dismal month because we know how they crash and burn in December.
Yep, you're right. You're
so they're not even there yet, and they still got games coming up that are quite competitive. Let's see.
What you think, Nzo?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
How did this affect the landscape of the Super Bowl for Dallas? Or do you think Eagles won by the skin of their teeth? People are saying that Dallas people let the Eagles off the hook. Do you agree with those sentiments, or what do you think?
Well, it ain't gonna change nothing because Dallas was never gonna make the Super Bowl anyways. So if it's gonna affect anybody, it would be the Philadelphia Eagles. But I mean, it's a division game, so there are always those kind of close kind of games to where you think one team's gonna win and the other one pulls it out. Yeah, yeah. It's always like that. So I think Philly will be fine. Dallas is in trouble.
Okay.
What do you think, Danny?
I think I want Dallas to always lose as long as I live. I'm like Stephen A. The team, I don't really hate the team because I don't.
It's all about the fans.
I don't hate Pollard. I don't really hate CD Lamb. I just hate their fans. Their fans, oh my God, they make me completely sick.
And there are the odd few Dallas fans that you're like, wow, I didn't think a Dallas fan could actually be nice and call a loss, and not plan the Super Bowl on a 3-0 start. I had a grounded friend like that, God rest his soul, and it was really nice to see that we can actually sit down and watch a game and we don't leave, with any animosity, because those games are usually big back in the day,
Yeah. Well, let me say this because I know he's watching, and Quentin, your ass should have came up in here. But I think San Francisco fans are starting to do the same thing. Every time they fucking lose, it's oh, the refs, the bad calls, the refs.
We get the 49ers. That's our next question, and I'm going to jump to it now, and we can go ahead and continue this conversation. The 49ers versus the Jags tomorrow. Debo is back. Will he be enough to get them over there back to their winning ways? Because they lost the last three. And everybody is blaming it on Debo.
Well,
do you think Debo?
Go ahead, Nzo, if you want to go first.
I think he'll help, but I think it's more than just Debo, right? I don't know what it is right now. Maybe the defense, I think, is more than that, or maybe they figured out the offense pretty much, right? But I think it's more than just the offense. Debo coming back may help, but I think they need to pick up their defense more than anything. So,
go ahead, Roberto.
Yeah, I have to agree with Nzo. I think Debo's going to make a difference because while he was, playing injured that game, why I know so much because I have him in my fantasy. He played injured and he got me like 5 or 6 points, which was so unlike Debo. You knew something was up, and then after that, he's out 2 or 3 weeks. They've had 2 or 3 losses. Ayuk hasn't really taken the load or shined like other receivers do would have no backup receivers. So it's pretty obvious that Debo takes away and opens up for Ayuk to get what he's getting. That's all I could see, unless Purdy is just showing us what he really should have been and he was riding on a genie's wish. I don't know.
I think that Debo is the glue that holds that team together. I think Debo is Brock Purdy's safety net, the safety blanket. When he's not there, it throws him all off rhythm. And I think if Debo comes back, he can stay healthy. That they're probably going to go back to their winning ways because that system, when it's working, to me, it's perfect. I hate to say that because I'm not a 49ers fan, but everything clicks. It's just like a car. You got to have 4 tires. Debo's 1 of the tires. You cannot. I never see a car run down the road with 3 tires. Debo's at 4 tires. It's Purdy, it's Ayuk, it's Debo, and it's McCaffrey. When those 4 are working in conjunction together, their offense is pretty strong.
There's teams close, but I don't think there is a team as covered on all positions. Maybe quarterback, not so much, because Purdy isn't really proven in 2 years. But those 3 guys you mentioned, Danny, I don't see another team like that.
All right.
So it has to be their defense, like Nzo said, because their defense was a top 5 defense. I don't know where they're ranking now, but the games that I've watched San Fran play, I don't see Bosa dominating. I don't see them intercepting. I see the run is taking off on them where I never really seen that before, Like the Rams, the defense is just riding on what they used to do.
Mm-hmm. What you saying, Nzo?
I'm just gonna say that if the Cowboys and 49ers are going up against each other, I want the Cowboys to smoke those fuckers.
Oh no,
that'll never happen for me.
No way, no way.
I want the Cowboys to smoke them. Trust me, because I think this goes with Quentin, which I'm going to send him the link. So Quentin on Facebook, look on Facebook. These guys are starting to become the new Dallas Cowboys, right? Because their team is doing good. It's like, San Fran. And then they're always, like I said, blaming the refs for the losses, right? And then when they lose, they quiet as fuck. Because I even met them. I was like, hey, Quentin, kind of quiet this week, And he was like, no, I'm here. But he didn't post nothing. But when the freaking 49ers are winning, all I hear is 49. So I'm like,
is it the fans or is it a fan? You make it sound, to me, it sounds like it's a fan.
Well, to be honest with you, all it takes is one fucking fan to really hate the team.
Because I was going to say, Quentin's the only San Fran fan that I know, that I can say I know.
That's some serious hate there, Bo.
It just takes one fan to piss me off to where I don't want to. The reason why I became a Pistons fan, right? And I'll never forget it. They were playing the Lakers in the playoffs, right? That was the first year they played each other and when they lost. And I remember I wasn't into basketball at the time. I wanted to watch something else. But my yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I had to weigh in on your San Fran topic.
Yeah, I know.
What's up, Chew?
Guys, hey, what's up, man? Guys talking crap about my team.
Who's talking crap? Talking facts.
Hey, there's an echo going.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Oh, yeah, I'm on my phone. Does that make a difference?
There's a way you should be able to do it without it echoing.
It just stopped now.
Yeah,
because I mute him.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure.
But headphones?
Maybe because he has to put his volume on. He doesn't have earplugs.
Yeah.
No, I don't have my.
We'll deal with it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That better?
Yeah. That's better.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, yeah, I just put it on speakerphone. So, yeah, I lost track of your conversation trying to get into this link.
You saying all it takes is one fan. Probably you. Why he hates San Fran, and if they ever go against Dallas, he's pulling for Dallas.
Oh, of course, but
me and Roberto said no. We're not pulling.
Well, no, you've seen that the last few years. Every time they meet the Cowboys in the playoffs, the Cowboys go home.
Yes, and I want to beat them because of you.
Wait, I thought Roberto just said you were turning over a new leaf and you weren't trying to provoke anymore.
I'm not provoking anybody. I just don't like your team because of you.
I think you just want them to lose so you can see me upset about it.
The fact that you are always posting San Fran all the time, and then when the last 3 weeks they lost, you're as crickets.
You see, even in the glory days, I wouldn't really push out so much that the team's on a winning streak, because those haters can't wait for a couple of losing streaks. They're coming with salt in those wounds, man. So, I just sit there and let them know that our team is kicking ass, and if they lose, hey, can't win them all.
What you're not the only people that have said that. Like, a lot of people, when they started losing, were like, well, where's the memes now? Like, one of you guys called me out every time. Someone on my Facebook go, where's the San Fran losing memes? It's just, I don't see them.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
But I'm not one of those fans, though. Like, I love the 49ers. I watched them religiously since I was like 9 years old. But the last 3 weeks have just been horrible. Like, their defense is getting no pressure on the quarterback, and that's affecting their secondary because their defense runs on that pass rush. So they force a quick pass or a mistake, and then that's how they get the interceptions. But I don't know what's happened since Bosa signed that contract. He forgot how to sack the quarterback. He has like 1 sack in the last like 4 or 5 weeks.
Wow. So what do you think the biggest issue is?
The issue, to be honest, and I've never heard anyone say it's the coaching. They've turned into Carolina. Like McCaffrey is great, but they're running him into the ground the last few weeks. Like, he's not the only option on offense. Like, they've seemed to turn into what Carolina did. They gave McCaffrey the ball again and again and again. That's how he kept getting injured in Carolina. With Debo back, now they'll have another option. They don't have to go to McCaffrey 50 times a day.
I hope they go to Debo a lot.
I don't believe that it's the coaching, though. I don't agree with you at that point.
Well, in the coaching, in the aspect where, remember the first few games, Ayuk was tearing it up. Every time he catch a pass, it'd be 20 yards. But the last 3 games, especially in the losses, they're not going to Ayuk. They're going to McCaffrey on the flat. They're going to run, and then.
But that's not the coaching. That is the reads. Purdy is not reading it right.
Well, I'm talking like the play calling. The play calling coming in from the sideline. They're calling a lot of run plays and options.
Yeah.
They're not focusing on Ayuk to help them free up that running game.
With the run play, I agree with you if they call certain run plays. But if they call the option, then he still got to read.
True. But
maybe Ayuk's not open.
I feel they should throw to him, or at least try to throw to him more often than they do. They're not using him enough.
So with Debo out, maybe that's why, because there's only that one option. The defense is focusing on him. You got to run the ball, right?
Yeah, but if you notice in the loss they have, their defenses going against them. They're stacking the defensive line. They're not worried about Purdy beating him down the field. Like, Purdy's not going to beat them on a deep ball.
Where's Kittle?
Those slants and stuff. Like, they don't use Kittle enough either, in my opinion. Like, he's a great blocking tight end.
We forgot to mention him too, Danny. Kittle's not a low budget or mid-end tight end. He's a top tier tight end, or was.
I agree, but like I said, I think that. And I'll go back to my initial point. I think Debo is the glue that holds them together, and I think he is Purdy's security blanket. And when he's not there, I think it just throws Purdy all off the rhythm.
That's how it looks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have to account for Debo no matter where he lines up, whether it's in the backfield or in the flat. Like, and by doing that, you can't focus on McCaffrey the way defenses have been the last few weeks.
Yeah. All right. You're going to transition. Anybody anything on this topic before we transition to the next sport?
All right, guys, I'm out. I just wanted to give my 2 cents. Let you all know that you are talking to the leader of our fantasy league, and I'm going to go.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Let's see what your banner says next year.
I've been so lucky.
What are you going to blame it on now?
I've been lucky that Monday night game with the Lions, I was sweating. I was down like 30 points, and that rookie running back got that 30-yard touchdown run, and I'm like, I won. I'm out.
No, shut the fuck up. This is what I'm talking about. San Francisco fan, and now he's coming in here talking about, I'm leading the league and blah, 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 blah.
That can bite you in the ass.
I'm just saying the only one of you who complained about what I just said is the guy who's in last place. Just saying.
No problem.
It's dangerous, boy.
All right, boys. Have a great show.
Peace out.
Later. Fucking final playoff spot. I'm gonna battle you, and I'm gonna beat your ass.
All right, bye. I gotta go.
Shit. He pulled the cord.
Got an echo, which drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one we're going to go to is a basketball question, NBA question. And it is the Clippers. Now, since they added the great James Harden to their roster, they have gone 0-3. I think the last game, I'm not sure the score. I heard something like 75 points. I don't think that's right.
They got by like 30 points. They got blown.
This is like the worst score ever, worst meeting ever. And do y'all think that this is a mistake? Is it James Harden's fault, or is it just the lack of chemistry yet? They don't know each other. They don't know the plays. They haven't played together. Or do you think he's just a bad fit overall?
So first off, I'm going to say your mistake was calling him the great James Harden.
I'm just throwing a little bit of respect for him, man. Sarcasm.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Because you know I don't like him.
He ain't fucking great. That's for damn sure.
Well, he won the MVP a couple years, and he's scoring title. I mean, he does some great things.
He did.
Okay. Yes. But I will say it was the worst trade they could have possibly done.
Yes, I
it makes no fucking sense why they did that, because Russell Westbrook and James Harden are pretty much the same player. So you get rid of 3-point shooting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're pretty much the same player. Both of them don't play defense. Russell Westbrook plays.
I don't think Russell is selfish. I think James Harden is very selfish.
Russell Westbrook used to be selfish.
That's correct.
I think now he's getting a little bit over his ego. But when you have two guys on your team and you're putting them in the starting lineup, and they don't play defense, that is going to fuck you every time, especially when the playoffs come. James Harden is the biggest flop in the 7th game of a playoff game out of any other player I know. He has flopped more times than anybody else. Why do you want that on your team?
You said flop or choke?
Well, choke.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, choke.
Well, I can't say I disagree with your points in the playoffs because he has choked in the playoffs, but I think they brought him for what the player he used to be, not the player that he currently is. And sometimes teams get caught up in that. Danny used to hit 50 home runs a year and this, and this. And then sometimes they look at people and say, and like I said, I'll say it again, what I used to be. But if you're not coming out here and producing, and then I think they tried to also give him the benefit of the doubt because he said if they would bring him out here, he would do this, and this. Now, one thing I do fault them on, I wouldn't pay him all that money they pay him. I think it was $45 million. I wouldn't have done that. I would have gave him a more reduced, relaxed contract, then have incentives in it. And then look, if you do this, if we get to the playoffs, if we get to the championship, then we can renegotiate. I just wouldn't give him that money he asked for based on his track history, because Skip Bayless said he quit his way out of Houston, he quit his way out of Brooklyn, and he quit his way out of Philadelphia. If you get that kind of track record, I'm not going to give you a decent contract. I'm going to give you something, not disrespectful, but hey, if I got $45 million to give you, hey, I might give you $20 million. Then if you accomplish A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then we can talk about adding the additional $20 million to next year. But you got to give me something. That's the mistake I think they made. But I will say all this to end it and pass on to Roberto. I never did like James Harden game from the start. I know he did the scoring titles, and I know he was MVP, and he get that step back three and stuff. I never liked this game. I know he scored a bunch of points in Houston, and he was the man back there. But I never cared for James Harden's game. So me, if I was the GM, I would never ever pick them up from giddy up. But I can't sit here and say that his being there caused him the last 3 games. I would have to go back and watch him. And I don't think he started anything but the last game, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure if he started all games. I'm not sure about that. I have no idea. But I definitely believe that him being in there as messing up the chemistry because what they're saying is Kawhi Leonard is taking less shots than he is. Paul George is pretty much, relegated to standing in the corner looking for threes when they have all four of them on the court. So I believe that's a big issue. I personally, I'm like you, I never liked James Harden's game whatsoever. Um, but I you see, he was traded, so it wasn't really about them giving him money, right? The only thing they could do now is try and renegotiate his contract, and I'm not even sure how many years left are on the contract. But once they traded him, they had to give him everything that he was signed for with
Yeah.
Philadelphia. So
What's your take on that, Roberto?
Well, I could say this much: if I was an NBA player, I wouldn't want to be on this team. Um, his style of basketball is not a team game. It's watch me, and I question his game altogether. How I thought the way he plays could fuck up the game with all this hopping around, taking these steps all before he's shooting, and I think the NBA had something to say about him and his why he got so many free throws, and then they weren't calling that anymore on him, and he wasn't getting those and ones like he used to get all the time. I think it's a big mistake bringing him as in the latter stage of his career to a team with a bunch of guys in the latter stage of their career. All these young stallions running in the NBA are saying, "You had your time, old man. Don't try that shit up in here." And these big changes make a difference. Look what's happening in Milwaukee. Since they got what's his name, their points against and their
Dame Lillard.
defense have gone sky high bad. Where they were ranking amazing before, they're horrible now. That's why they're barely winning games.
Dame Lillard.
Yeah, I'm not saying Lillard's the reason, but it's evident when you make some changes to chemistry, like Nzo said. Kawhi loves that ball. George loves that ball. Westbrook doesn't so much like to give it up, but when he does, it's a nice play. I can't say any of those things about Harden that he makes. I saw him make a pass to George, and the look on George's face after that pass attempt that Harden made was like, "Damn, man, you should consider retiring, bro."
Wow.
He had more or less an open three on the other side of the court, and he tried to make an overhead pass to George on the other side where George was standing on the three, like Nzo said, and it ended up 5 or 6 rows up in the stands.
Wow.
yeah, I've seen that play. You see, the thing with Harden, and we could just go and say Harden. This is Harden's play style: dribble, 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 shoot, dribble, 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 pass, get the pass back, dribble, 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 shoot. You know what I mean? Like that's his style. Like he's this selfish, I gotta be the man guy. And then we talked about this last week where he's like, I don't play with the system, I am the system. Like that right there is like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you have a guy like that on your team, and Kawhi Leonard doesn't even look like he wants to play with him, to be honest with you.
Well,
I
he
don't
did
think
before he
Kawhi
got
Leonard.
there. It looked like it at least.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. 2 things. One thing I did hear in an interview that there's been no player in the NBA that went on record saying that they don't want to play with him. I think Rachel Nichols said that on one of the issues last week on Undisputed, that all the players like him. He's a player's player. He's not some of the coaches and the GMs, they'll bump heads, but for the most part, he vibes with the players. Point number 2 is that most of the time on the Clippers, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are injury prone. So if they have somebody who's not injured, I'm trying to think back. I don't remember Harden really being injury prone a lot in his career. Russell Westbrook had a spurt for a year or two. But if those guys go down and they still get somebody for the offense, yes, they're going to lose a lot on the defense because they're not known to be defensive players. But the offense is still going to go because there are two known scorers when they're good. You got to deal with Russ Westbrook's turnovers because he's a turnover machine. But for the most part, James Harden, when he's playing, he's in the right mind, and he's in shape, he can get you 30 points a night.
That last thing you said is the big question. And he don't look like he's in shape.
I think he's going to get in shape when he's somewhere he wants to be. When he's somewhere he doesn't want to be, then that's when his tactics he uses. He come in looking.
I don't think he has that liberty, Danny. I don't think he has that liberty, that right, because you quit on so many teams, and you're not even coming with your best game. What makes you think you're all that? Because you're really riding on the past. He's really riding on the past, like you said.
I agree with what you're saying. I agree 1,000% what you're saying. He's riding on the past. He doesn't look like he's in shape now. But I'm thinking from the GM's point of view, one of the reasons why they even went out there and extended that olive branch was, look, our two stallions are injury prone. Every year, they do not even make maybe 50 games a year, if we're lucky, George and Kawhi Leonard. So when they're down, they're doing this load management, they're supposed to be somehow fixing this stuff and revamping, which I don't think they are. Then the Clippers still have a viable offensive team with Westbrook and Harden. I ain't saying I would do that, but I'm thinking that is the mindset of the GM why they even entertain bringing Harden there.
You know what? It makes sense, and I completely understand what you're saying. But I believe that if Kawhi or George Paul goes down, you can't depend on Westbrook or freaking Harden anymore. They're just not that guy anymore. You know what
Westbrook,
I mean?
I agree with you. He won't because he plays hard. I like his effort, but scoring, he's sporadic in scoring. He's not consistent. James Harden, I think if he's happy and he's somewhere that he wants to be and he can get in better shape, I definitely think he can get you 25 to 30 a night easily in his sleep. Still now, I believe that.
You know what, in a nutshell, Danny, what I think it is? His style of game will not win you in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but it'll keep him close until the guys can get back for the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that's their mindset behind this whole thing. If Kawhi goes down, if Paul George goes down, we need somebody that can keep us close until they get back to playoff time. That's what I'm thinking they were thinking, because the past 2 years, that's what happened. They be hurt the regular season, they limp into the playoffs, and then get put out early.
Okay.
That don't make sense.
Yeah.
Just my take on it.
But sense doesn't equate all the time, right?
You're correct, sir. Sometimes a good thought can be still just that, a thought.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. I think because the Clippers were a better defensive team without Harden, right? With the team they had. And I think that's what the owners were thinking. Well, you know, if we get Harden in there, we have a scorer that can come in there and score if Kawhi's not in or George Paul is missing, right? We don't miss a beat. The only problem is Harden has never been a team player, ever. And I don't see him changing now.
Okay. Next topic. Ooh, this is a good one here. Ooh, I didn't think I'd ever see this, but when I saw it, I was happy. My man Shannon Sharp, he is taking some heat because there was a question posed, I think, Tuesday morning on First Take. It was like, if LeBron James the Lakers played Miami, and they interviewed him after the game. They lost. And Miami, and Jay Hart was saying that he appreciated everything Miami did, and that pretty much whether or not he went there or not, he still would have been the same caliber player he is now. So that question was posed to Stephen A. and to LeBron and to Shannon Sharp. And Shannon got first crack at it. He's like, heck no, he wouldn't have been, because before he went to Miami, he was not a winner. He had to go there to learn how to win. And he's saying LeBron James is kind of tripping and all this kind of stuff. And of course, Stephen A. couldn't believe it. He was like, oh my Lord, I can't believe you saying that, because you are the biggest LeBron James fans on the planet. You and Nick Wright. So, having said that, LeBron James heard it and he clapped back. He's pretty much said, hell yeah, I'd have been the same player I'd have been just as dominant as ever from start to finish. Maybe not the rings, but blah 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 blah. So I'm going to play you a clip for what LeBron said. No, what Shannon said. Shannon Sharp said back to his reason why he said that about LeBron. Because right now LeBron James camp doesn't seem to be too happy with him.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Sharp had to say there.
I think it still would be at this level, no matter if I would have came here or not. Let's not get it twisted. The 4 years I was here, it was amazing. I loved everything about it. Loved this franchise. This franchise is top tier. It's one of the best franchises in the world. But as far as my career was going to be my career. And as far as individually, because I know how much I put into the game and I know how much I strive to be as great as I can be. And as far as what I was able to learn, here is second to none. That's for sure.
Yes.
Okay. Shannon?
Yes.
Do you agree with what LeBron said about his time in Miami?
Hell no, I vehemently disagree. I strenuously disagree with what he said. At the time that he had arrived in Miami, he had two regular season MVPs and one finals appearance through his first 7 seasons. LeBron, do you realize the reason why you got into the GOAT conversation? Because of what transpired in Miami? You won 2 more finals MVPs. You won 2 more regular season MVPs. You went to 4 straight finals. LeBron, how can you say that your career was going to be the same without going to Miami? LeBron, I'm not so sure. Had you not gone to Miami, how do I make a compelling case? And I can argue any case before the Supreme Court. How do I make a case that he's a top 5 player if he doesn't go to Miami, Stephen A? I don't understand why LeBron wants to be so dismissive. Okay, I get it. You dislike Pat Riley. Pat Riley didn't give you the latitude that Cleveland, like the Lakers, do. I get everything that you're saying from that aspect, but to sit there and sit in front of the media and say your career was going to be the career. Come on, LeBron, man, you got to stop this. It's okay to give the Miami Heat the credit that they deserve,
man. I almost caught a heart attack. I cannot believe I am so proud of you right now. I thought you were gonna disagree. This touches my heart, Shannon Sharp. I didn't believe you would get.
What an instigator, Steven. What an instigator.
So I'm gonna say, because I think these guys are jumping the gun and everything. Would LeBron still have the same career? Absolutely, 100%. Would he have the same amount of championships? That's a different story. No, he would not have been. But there's nothing, and especially with the way he's playing now, that doesn't show me that he wouldn't have played this way anywhere he went. He would have. He just wouldn't have had the championships. That's the only thing that's different. So yes, he would have still had the same career. I still think he would have had the beat Kareem for the leading scorer and all of that stuff. I just don't think he would have won the championships. He would probably only have 2 instead of 4. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion.
Go ahead. I'm looking up another clip. Go ahead.
I think you should give Miami their props. Dwayne Wade talks about you all the time, bigs you up all the time, talks about you and you guys were even exciting to watch. I can honestly say that I was never, ever really a fan of LeBron's game because of the way he complains about fouls and shit for a big man like him. But when he played in Miami, they were fun to watch, man. Him and Dwayne Wade were fun to watch. But for you to not, for you, like Nzo said, I agree that in a way, because we don't know how his career would have won had he not won those rings. Maybe he'd have been striving even more and got injured. There's so many scenarios that could have played out. But Shannon is talking the truth because, unless you can show proof otherwise that your career was on that path, like you had won a championship and then you went to Miami and all of this shit happened, that'd be a different story.
So I would say... Oh, sorry, Danny. I just real quick. I would say that he has proved that it would have went the same way because he had MVPs already, right? So it's not like he didn't have a season MVP. He had season MVP. I just think he wouldn't have had the championships. But you are correct. You still need to give Miami your props because that's where you won your first championship.
That's where it took off.
Right, but at the same time, I still think he would have had this. He would still would have been a beast. He still would have had the same career. I just don't think he would have had the championships. Go ahead, Daniel.
Shannon goes a little bit deeper. He said he still believes he would have got the scoring talent. He still would have been dominant, but being the GOAT debate because and I'm gonna play this part two when him and Ocho are talking about it. And he explains a little bit deeper, and I definitely agree with what he's gonna say on his next thing. He breaks down why he said what he said about LeBron.
I think the question is that LeBron said he would be still the same player.
Absolutely.
Had he never played in Miami.
Absolutely.
And two things can be true. Mm-hmm. I believe LeBron James would have still been the all-time leading scorer. Mm-hmm. I still believe LeBron James would have scored 30,000 points, had 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. I still believe he would have been a first-team All-NBA player. I still believe he would have been a multi-time All-Star player. Mm-hmm. But the pushback that I'm going to give, I do not believe he's the LeBron James that we know without that stint in Miami. Because without that, because prior to him going there, he had 0 championships but 2 MVPs. He goes to Miami. He gets 2 titles and 2 more MVPs. So now he's 4-2. There's only a handful of people. Now you got to go. There's only 3 people before LeBron did it. Wilt got 4. Jordan has 5. Russell has 5. And I think Kareem has 6. So there's 4 people. Right. So now LeBron is an exclusive company. So now people got like, hold on, wait a minute. And he had him at the age of 28. Mm-hmm. So now he goes back to Cleveland. He gets another title, 4-3. He goes to LA. He gets another title. Now he's 4-4. So now he's an elite company. He's one of 2 men to win multiple MVPs, 2 locations. Right. Kareem, 3-3. 3 in Milwaukee, 3 in LA. He's one of 2 men to win multiple MVPs, finals MVPs at different locations. Kawhi, San Antonio, Toronto, Kareem, Milwaukee, LA, LeBron James. So could you still be the same player? Yes, but not the player we know. Because without that, you see, here's the thing, Ocho, you can't say, and everybody keeps saying, he could go anywhere and win those titles.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant went to Golden State, stayed 3 years, won 2 titles, finals MVP both years, got hurt the 3rd year, even though they advanced, they lost. He went to Brooklyn for 4 years. How many more championships he won?
Whoa, can I ask you a question? Let me stop you right there. We talk about LeBron James.
Okay.
We talk about the greatest play. We talk about the greatest player on the planet that will change the dynamic of any team he's on. But so in his 20s, in his late 20s, yes, 28, he can win anywhere. He can win to any team.
Why did he go to Miami then? Why did he go to Miami then?
D-Wade told him to come on home.
No. But you said he could have gone anywhere.
I mean, he could have gone anywhere.
He felt anywhere. That was the best chance for him to win. Am I correct?
Well, obviously, he wanted to pair himself. He wanted to pair himself with Bosh and Wade. I mean,
because Ocho, there's a difference.
Remember, he won with Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Who did he have on the team with him?
But here's the thing.
What
knowledge did he take back that he had acquired from Miami back to Cleveland?
How to win.
Oh, so where did he learn that?
In Miami.
Okay, then. So without that stint in Miami, is he the same? Do we view him the same? Without those 4 MVP, without those 2 other MVPs, because here's the thing, Ocho, this is what we got to look. If he doesn't get those 2 MVPs, regular season, and those 2 final MVPs, how do you put him in front of Kareem? Kareem has 6 regular season MVPs, 2 finals MVPs.
I have a problem.
How do you put him in front of Jordan, who's 6-6? How do you put him in front of?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have some pushback with Shannon because Shannon's talking about, if he put himself in the best position to win. He put himself in a good position to win because he wanted to play with his friends. But let's just say he had went to, and I'm just going to say, there's 2 teams I'm going to say. Let's say he had went to Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki or San Antonio with Tim Duncan. He may have won more than 2 titles. You understand? So it's not just to say, oh, he wouldn't have went anywhere and won. It depends on where he would have went. If he would have went and played with Dirk, I don't think anybody beats them. If he plays with Tim Duncan, I don't think anybody beats them. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's why I have the pushback with Shannon. We're saying, oh, he would have only won there. It's not true. He would have also learned how to win with Mark Cuban. He would have also learned how to win with Popovich. So you can't really just say what Shannon's doing is what if isms, and it just doesn't work.
Roberto?
I agree with Shannon.
I do too. But tell me what.
A path is set. Like, he knew he could go to other teams. Just because there's talent there doesn't mean they're necessarily going to gel. I think LeBron is intelligent enough to say, let me weigh out my pros and cons, and Miami turned out to be the best. Because why? It's a showcase state. It's not San Antonio, where you could say San Antonio is like Cleveland. It's not really the glamour, glory of a New York or LA. Miami's up in those mentions. Him and Dwayne Wade, obviously you saw how they played, so they gelled, and Dwayne Wade even made a guy like me say, wow, LeBron, the way they combined together. I think there was things that played out for him, and to be so cocky to call out how many championships you're going to win on live TV. I've never really seen him do that before anywhere else. So these are the things I got to say that I think it was planned out. And yes, he would have had success with Tim Duncan, no doubt. But maybe he would have took away from Tim Duncan's game at the same time. I don't know. I can't say. I've never seen them play together.
So here's the thing, right? Tim Duncan has always been that player to where he'll let the other person shine. He's done it with Tony Parker. He's done it with Manu Ginobili. So LeBron going over there, he would probably let LeBron shine. I think the same thing with Dirk Nowitzki as well. I think these two guys were very unselfish when it came to the players around them, right? All they cared about is winning. And I honestly believe that he wins more than 2 titles if he goes to one of those teams. Now, the problem why he couldn't go to one of those teams, obviously, is because of salary cap and all of that shit, right? So what he had to do is he had to build his team. Plus, I can understand saying, well, your legacy is a little bit tainted because you're playing with Tim Duncan, but at the same time, nobody says that for Kobe for playing with Shaq. So I just think that you can't say that his career would not have been the same if he didn't go to Miami. It depends on where he went. Because, like I said, he lost to Dirk in Miami and he lost to Tim Duncan in Miami. If he's on one of those teams, they don't lose.
No, I think he lost to
Dirk.
Dirk.
No guarantee that they're going to gel.
In Cleveland.
That's the thing I'm saying.
What's that?
No, he lost to Dirk, Dallas, and Cleveland. He didn't lose to them.
No, he was in Miami. It was Miami. It was the first year they went to the finals with Miami. It was him, Bosch, and they lost. And then he lost again to San Antonio.
I remember San Antonio. I don't remember Dallas. Okay, you might be right, but I agree with Shannon as well. I think that, and one of the points Roberto made, LeBron James has been said to be the smartest, the most cerebral player in NBA history. And I think, like Roberto said, he weighed out all his options, and he felt that he get his best option to win multiple championships was in Miami. And at the time when the trade was, when the big announcement happened, and that was the first time it was coined as super team. And LeBron James was the culprit behind that, where it really wasn't, because we've seen that in the past. But he seemed to start to be coined that trade of creating super teams, the big three, him, Bosch, and Wade. Then I think it was Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. And then it happened with Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and all those guys. But LeBron James, I think, unjustly got coined building that super team and all this kind of stuff. And I think that's really when his players start talking to each other on the offseason and, hey, let's play together, let's join up, let's link up, let's do this, let's do this. That way, that whole players got more freedom and more control over their destiny started. I think was the catalyst for it. I think he went there. He learned how to win, like Shannon said. He brought it back to Cleveland. Then he prepared himself with two other people at that time that were statistically monsters: Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. And the first time it didn't work, but the second year they were able to get the best of Golden State. So I think LeBron James puts himself in situations that's going to be the better outcome when he sits down and analyze it. And if he had not done that, could he still have won 3 or 4 more championships in Cleveland? I don't think so. Now, if he went on one of those teams that what Nzo said, San Antonio, Dallas, then maybe so. But if you listen to this further, what Shannon said, he said in order to be put in the GOAT conversation, you have to have at least 2, in his mind, in his ranking, at least 3 championships, 3 MVPs. And whether he would have got that in that time frame to be even considered the GOAT, I don't know, because then he brings up a comparison. He said Charles Barkley is like one of the best players ever played in the NBA, but he never won a ring. That's going to hurt him in any kind of GOAT conversation. That's why he's not even considered the GOAT, because you got to have a certain criteria. MVPs, final MVPs, and championships.
You see, but there's the problem with that, and this is why I have the problem with that. He's gonna say that's gonna hurt his argument, right? But then when you have a player who has multiple MVPs and 5 titles, you don't consider him a GOAT. That's the thing. Right? So you can say, yeah, oh, well, Barkley doesn't have no champion, so it's gonna hurt him from being considered a GOAT. 100% I agree with that. But now when you're talking about someone who has those, but you don't even consider them, you're being contradictory to yourself.
No, he was saying in his mind, not the whole GOAT criteria. He said to be considered, even to be, I guess a prerequisite is you got to have at least 3 championships, 3 rings, 3 final MVPs. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that got multiple rings, 6 or 7, 8, 9, or 10. They never been an MVP. Ain't never been a Finals MVP. So that wouldn't qualify them.
I didn't want to say the name, but Tim Duncan has 5, has 2 MVPs, season MVPs, 2 Finals MVPs, but you don't consider him a GOAT. But now you're going to complain that Barkley doesn't have championships, so you can't consider him a GOAT. So your criteria is flawed right then and there, because if you're saying you have to have. Because you're saying you have to have 3 championships, 3 MVPs. Duncan has 4, but they don't consider him a GOAT. But yet you're going to say, well, if you don't have those, you're not considered a GOAT. But if you have them, you still don't consider that person a GOAT.
But Tim Duncan don't have it. His criteria.
Yes, he does.
You didn't listen to what I'm saying, Nzo. He don't have 3 MVPs. He don't have 3
yes, he does.
He got 3 MVPs, regular season MVPs.
He got 2 season MVPs.
Okay. No, that's not 3.
That don't fit the criteria.
Hold on. He has 2 season MVPs. He has 2 season finals MVPs, right? He has multiple first team defensive, first team all defensive. His numbers are better than most of the fucking players in the league, right? So what? Because he has he's missing 1 season MVP, but has 2 finals MVPs. That doesn't make a difference.
I'm telling you what his criteria. I'm not saying what my criteria.
I know, but what I'm saying is his
criteria, it don't need it.
But his criteria is flawed.
If he tell you what his criteria is, how can it be flawed if an individual don't meet it?
I'm telling you it's flawed because you're ignoring the 2 final MVPs he has. Whether he has 2 season MVPs or 2 finals, he has 4 MVPs altogether.
I understand that, Nzo. But like, for instance, if I run for a chief of police position, and it says I got to have a 4-year degree or a doctor's degree or whatever, and 28 years experience. I got the 28 years experience, but I don't have no degree. I don't have no doctorate. So I can't run for it. I can't be in that particular argument.
He considers Kevin Durant a GOAT. I've heard him say that. Kevin Durant doesn't meet those criteria.
I hadn't heard him say Kevin Durant, the GOAT of what? In the NBA?
Yes, he has considered, he said Kevin Durant is considered a GOAT. He considers Kevin Durant a GOAT.
A GOAT of the position, of the GOAT of the greatest of all time.
Of the NBA. We're talking the greatest of all time, the GOAT.
All right.
He considers Kevin Durant a GOAT.
There could only be one GOAT, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
There
Yes,
can't be GOATs.
yes. There can only be one GOAT, but there can be considerations. Right? You can't just say there's one GOAT and nobody else is a consideration.
There's all kinds, but
right.
you know, where they classify in consideration is an argument that, you know, to each their own.
But exactly. That's what I'm saying. But there is consideration, right? People have said they consider Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a GOAT, right? So there's considerations. Yes, there is only one GOAT, but there's considerations. So
I say he's one of the greatest.
So if you're going to consider, that's you, I understand that, but we're talking about these guys where they consider GOATs because you just said it, right? So if you're going to consider Kevin Durant a GOAT, who doesn't have the same numbers as Tim Duncan, but you never put Tim Duncan in that consideration, then your thing is flawed. And that's the problem with Shannon Sharpe. He's always been like that. He's always been LeBron. LeBron's better than Jordan. LeBron is this and that. It's only now because of this argument where he's kind of like switching up his argument, right? But there was so many times where you could say that he's wrong when it comes to his argument with LeBron being a GOAT over Jordan. But that's what his thoughts are.
No, I'm not going by my thoughts or your thoughts, anybody else. I'm going by what he's saying right here today.
Me too. I'm contradicting him. I'm not contradicting anything you guys are saying. I'm contradicting Shannon Sharpe, right?
I want to hear that clip you said where he says Kevin Durant's a GOAT, because that's crazy.
Hold on, I have to find out. Yeah. But he has considered Kevin Durant. I
know a lot of people say like, who's the best? We've done that here. Who's the best? Who's the GOAT for the power forward, or who's the GOAT for the point guard?
Positional GOAT.
Yeah, positional GOAT. I've seen that, but like greatest of all time, Kevin Durant is Kevin. You said Kevin Durant or Kevin Garnett?
Kevin Durant.
No, Kevin Durant does not fit that based on his criteria. But let's finish this real quick.
Tim Duncan, who has 5 titles, 3 finals MVP, 2 regular season MVPs. How do you put him in front of Magic? Magic has 3 regular season MVPs, 5 finals, 3 finals MVPs. How do you put him in there if he doesn't have that Miami stint on his resume?
You're underestimating how great LeBron is. I think if he didn't go to Miami, if he chose to go somewhere else, regardless of where it would have been, I think the outcome would have been the same.
No, that's not what he said. Even he said it. If you read LeBron James' tweet, this is what LeBron said. You damn right I would still be. I'm chosen. Ain't nothing changing. Maybe less rings, but dominant from start to finish. He said it.
He said maybe less rings, but common sense and the eye test will tell you wherever LeBron goes, that team, come hella high water, is probably going to be in the finals or in contention to be in it.
While we all love watching our favorite teams on television, there's nothing better than being at a game live and in person. Sitting courtside, take it from me. And the best.
It goes on. Get another 15, 20 minutes extra. But basically, to go back to my initial statement, he's in hot water now in the LeBron James camp. So we may be seeing LeBron James change his tune. I mean, not LeBron James, but Shannon Sharpe changed his tune. It's funny to jump on the right side of saying that Jordan's the GOAT. But I thought it was very interesting. I never thought I'd see Shannon Sharpe having as much energy against LeBron James, who he's come with in the GOAT James mask and all this kind of crazy stuff. So we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Any words?
I used to really dislike that guy, you know.
Huh?
I used to really dislike Shannon Sharpe.
I still kind of do.
No, I used to really dislike him. Like how he said, if I saw you at the bus stop, it's freezing cold, and there's slush by the entrance, and you're standing there, I'll drive over the slush kind of thing. I would do the same to him.
Wow. Woo. That's cool.
Yeah, because he would do that to another. Do unto those as those would do unto you. Isn't that a passage?
It sure is. Now we're going to switch back to football. Joe Burrows is quietly winning. This division is, I think, the most competitive. The AFC North, which consists of Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore, and the Steelers. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore, and the Bengals. The Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns are all tied at 5-3. Who do you think is going to get that second spot? Now, what I did, I went down and looked at the next 1, 2, counting tomorrow's game, 1, 2, 3, 4, next 6 games. And this is how it is. Tomorrow, the Browns are going to face the Ravens. So either the Ravens are going to take a loss, which I don't think they're going to lose to the Browns. And the Steelers facing the Packers. I definitely think the Steelers are going to win that game. I could be shocked, could be upset. I don't think it is. Next week, the Bengals are going to be playing the Ravens. I don't know what that is. If Joe Burrows comes there, I don't know. Lamar Jackson has some of these lousy games he's been having. That's a toss-up. The Steelers are going to face the Browns. I think the Steelers are going to beat the Browns. I could be wrong. I don't know. Week 12, it's going to be the Steelers versus the Bengals, the Browns versus the Broncos, the Ravens versus the Chargers. I don't know if the Steelers can beat the Bengals. I don't know. I think the Browns are going to beat the Broncos, and I think the Ravens are going to beat the Chargers. So, right now, as it looks, who you think is going to get that second spot? Because when I went all the way down to week 15, and it has the Ravens playing the Jags, and it has the Bengals playing the Vikings. But for the Steelers games and the Browns game, it got to be determined. So how can they say that already 5 weeks ahead?
I'm thinking Cincinnati is taking that spot. They're in the same division, right?
Yep. Those 4 teams I see are all in the same division. They're in the AFC North.
I think the way Burrow's playing right now, but then again, Chase mashed up his back. Higgins has some problems with his leg again. So I don't know. Are they playing this weekend?
Yeah.
They got a bye?
I think they may have a bye this weekend, but the Browns are playing the Ravens and the Steelers are playing the Packers.
Who has a bye this weekend?
I think the Ravens, not the Ravens, but
I think the Bengals.
Bengals.
But look it up.
No, Bengals don't have a bye.
No, Bengals don't have a bye because I had Higgins in and then they said he's hurt.
Bengals playing the Texans. I think the Bengals are going to beat the Texans.
I don't know about that because
the Texans are 4-4. The Bengals are 5-3. Now, their quarterback, the Texans got Stroud. Man, as you can see, somebody had 87 points and had him on the bench. I know that must have
He had one game. He had one game. Let's wait and see.
Thank you, Nzo. Thank you.
I'm just saying,
why would I put him in over Allen? Come on.
He had one game.
Allen is not being consistent.
He's not being consistent, but I guarantee you, Danny, the day I say, oh, yeah, let me try Stroud and leave Allen on the bench, Allen's going to end up with that same number Stroud had on the bench because it happened to me already this season. It's not happening again.
I don't think anybody else scored 87 points, and I haven't seen one.
Yeah, you don't remember that game? Allen had 4 throwing touchdowns. He ran for 1. He had over 400 and something yards.
This season?
I had him on the bench, and I lost that week.
Wow.
How much points did he get you that week?
Something along the lines of what Stroud got.
Lord.
Do you remember what week it was?
Stroud didn't run for 1. Stroud threw for 5, right?
Stroud get you another 40-plus points, I bench. Oh, boy, ass. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. No doubt, GM. No doubt.
No, I ain't trying to be a GM. I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you, no doubt, because only a GM would say that.
Yeah,
no doubt, GM.
It would take a lot more than 2 games for me. It depends on who they're playing. You know what I mean? Like,
have you been watching Allen play, Nzo?
Yeah, Allen looked like one of us playing.
He's having if he had a season like this last year, he would not be the quarterback I would pick. I can guarantee you that.
I have Burrows. You guys don't need to tell me anything.
Yeah, but Burrow was injured. What's my excuse?
Yeah, Burrow, man, you better. If you don't want Burrows, I'll take you.
You want to trade?
I'll trade you right now.
No, I'm not trading him.
Yeah, okay. So I don't want to hear your song and dance right now.
No,
I'm telling you right now.
I'm just saying. At the beginning of the season, he was garbage.
Yes, he was.
He was
Anzo.
hurt.
And we all knew the reason why. It's not because he was having a bad season. He was playing hurt. His finger and his calf.
Yeah.
Look what happened when he wasn't hurt. Bing, 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 bing. Now Anzo's 2-7, right?
Yeah, but not because of him.
He's a big help.
So, hold on. Let's go. I'm looking at it now. Week 9.
How many points he scored last week?
Hold on. Last week he had 34 points.
That's good.
That's good.
That was week 9. Yeah.
And I think he had more the week before.
No, week 8 he had 33.
That's good. Week 7.
Week 7 he had 23.
That ain't bad. That's average.
No, that's bad.
I'm sure it's more than it said he was.
Man, you crazy. Lamar Jackson has 6 or 7 points in my league.
By 2. Oh yeah, but don't worry. Hold on, it's coming. He beat it by 2 points. It was 21. He had 23.
Still
week
better.
Week 6 he had 15.
That's bad, but he was
week
hurt.
5.
He didn't have Higgins.
Week 5.
Higgins was out for a while.
Week 5 was the week I took him out, and he had fucking 48 that week. That was
look at that. Playing hurt, he gave you 48. That's on you.
That was a good one. And then this one, he had 2 in week 4, 11 in week 3, 22 in week 2, and 0 in week 1.
The first 4 weeks, he was hurt. As each week he gets stronger, don't your scores get stronger?
Well, no, I mean, he still had a bad week.
Week 2 was the best of his 4.
Yeah, he still had a bad 2 weeks. The 23 and the 15 are bad weeks for quarterbacks.
And 23, I take
23. I'm okay with.
Yeah,
because it's very rare that they rank hard in 23. When they're ranked all 30 and 35, they don't get jack shit. I listened to that guy. Oh, Gabe Davis's breakout week this week. 6 points.
Well, week 9, he was projected to get 30, and he got 34. So
yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Anything over 25, I'm happy with.
Me too.
That's anything what?
Over 25?
25, I'm happy.
Not for a quarterback, no.
I'm happy because you can win with that. You could win with that. If he gets less than 25, you have to hope your receivers or one of them have a crazy game.
Yep.
Or your running back.
My running backs, McCaffrey.
Nzo has 2 good running backs, but even good running backs have bad games.
Yep. This is true.
My running backs are all right.
I think you got boom running backs. What's his Etienne? He's boom.
He's all right. He flops
trying to
too
figure
much.
out how they get the Browns and Steelers to be determined on week 15. So that must be they ain't got too much faith in them. But let's see who got the easier schedule.
I don't have faith in the Steelers quarterback.
I think the Steelers got the easier schedule. They play the Packers tomorrow, then the Browns, then the Bengals on the 12th, on week 12.
He misses wide open receivers, man. That's scary.
They play the Cardinals on the 13th. That should be a win. They play the Pats in week 14. That should be a win.
Am I lying, Nzo?
Are we
What's his
talking
name?
about
Pickens?
Trubisky.
or Trubisky?
Not Trubinsky, the one before. What's his name?
Pickens.
Pickens.
It should be Trubisky instead of Trubisky.
Trubisky.
I
don't know.
Pickens miss wide open receivers. That game I picked Pittsburgh to win and they fucking lost hard. I was like, oh my God, this guy's horrible.
It's only his second year, but yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's only second year. It's only second year. But
Did you hear someone picked up that freaking loser? What's his name? We had him in Washington. Wentz?
Carson Wentz, yeah, he's playing for somebody. I saw that.
I can't wait to see this guy on the field, yo.
Let me see who picked him up. Because I saw, I was like, he's still in the league?
I think the Raiders.
Los Angeles Rams, I think.
Yeah, you might be right. The Rams.
Yep. All right. Final question of the night of the day. Is Kansas City a shoe-in for the Super Bowl? Because this is the leaders of all eight divisions. Yeah, the AFC East, Miami is at 6-3. AFC North, Baltimore is 7-2. The AFC South, Jags are 6-2. The AFC West, KC is 7-2. The NFC East, the Eagles are 8-1. NFC North, Detroit is 6-2. The NFC South, the Saints are 5-4. And the NFC West, San Fran is 5-3. So, do you think it's a shooting? A lot of people, this will be the third year in a row they went to Super Bowl if they go again this year. I don't think that they're the juggernaut that they used to be. I think they are just quietly winning and winning kind of ugly. But I don't know if they're going to get past Baltimore. I think Baltimore is the team to look at. And I think it's going to be Baltimore versus the Eagles this year for Super Bowl.
Oh, really? So you don't think KC is going to make it?
Nope.
They have a lot of wear and tear on that team.
I don't think KC going to beat Baltimore if they go to the finals.
I think you're actually giving Baltimore a little bit too much credit right now. I think Baltimore is playing well, but I think when it comes down to playing a team like Kansas City, I think Kansas City still is going to be a little bit over them.
Let's see who got the easier schedule. Let me see. Let's see. Baltimore.
What I see teams doing in Kansas City better change up their playbook, man.
Okay.
Because they are shutting Kelsey down hard.
Okay, Baltimore plays the Browns tomorrow. The next Thursday, they play the Bengals, the Chargers. They got a bye week, and they play the Rams. They play the Jags, San Fran, Miami, and Pittsburgh. Now let's see what Kansas City got. Kansas City play the Eagles tomorrow. That's going to be on Monday night. They play the Eagles. That's going to be a good game. They play the Raiders. They should beat the Raiders. They should beat Green Bay. Buffalo. That could be a toss-up. They should beat Patriots. They play the Raiders again. That should be another win. They play the Bengals. That's going to be a toss-up. Burrows allows to play good against Mahomes. And they play the Chargers. So it looks to me like Kansas City got the easier schedule.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, man. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. Kansas City, we've seen them look strong, and then next thing you know, they don't look so good. So
why you don't like Baltimore?
I just don't have faith in them yet.
Okay, or could it be because that would knock out your team?
No. I just don't have faith in them yet. I don't have faith in them yet. My team already beat Baltimore, so.
Well, I mean, for the prize, what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I know, but we beat them already. So I ain't worried about Baltimore.
Pittsburgh, Uncle Tomlins. Okay. Wow. What you think, Roberto? Who your prediction for Super Bowl?
I think it's a little too early to predict because I don't see anyone running away really in the AFC. And it's easy to point out the Eagles. But the Eagles have won some squeakers, as we call them. They still won. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But again, if these teams keep repeating, the same teams keep repeating, it's wear and tear. I make reference to hockey like you have dynasties. The reason they're not dynasties for a long time is because they're playing more hockey, and these guys are obviously playing more football than most of the teams are playing. It's knockout. It's not even that they're playing round robins. It's win, you're gone. Win, you go. Lose, you're gone. So if you look at who's played the most football in the last 5 years, who could you say it is? Obviously, Kansas City is one because they're always in the finals. Philadelphia has to be made mention. Who else could you say?
I don't know. I guess if Dallas is on a winning streak, they got an argument with Lord. I hope
Dallas never goes anywhere in the playoffs, so it's not even worth mentioning them.
Okay.
I'm talking like
I will not argue that.
Wear and tear, regular season, and how deep you've gone in the playoffs. Like who's always in the final in the championships. If Kansas City hasn't been there 5 of the last 6 years, correct me, please.
I know at least 4. I'm not sure about 5.
Well, okay, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Philly's been there the last 2.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the 2 teams that obviously have played the most football.
Yeah.
Who's it going to catch up to first? It looks like it's catching up to Kansas City first because teams have somehow figured them out. We shut down Kelsey. They are a regular team. They don't have a stud receiver. They don't have a 1A receiver. Think about it.
You're right.
Who's their 1A receiver? And we all say you need that. Like you need a goaltender in hockey. You need a 1A receiver. And that's why the Eagles went and got Brown. That's why Miami went and got Hill. When you go out and get these guys, you're showing that you want a championship. Who do they got?
You're right.
Mahomes is like you said. Quinton said they're abusing McCaffrey. I think they're abusing poor Mahomes.
Let's see. Kansas City was in it last year. They were in 2021. They were in 2022. You're only in it 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last year, Kansas City, Philadelphia. Then they went with Tampa against Kansas City. And it was Kansas City versus San Fran. So 2020, 21, 2023.
So 3 times.
Philadelphia was in it 1, 2.
Yeah.
2 times in the past 5 years. The past 6 years. Rams been in it 2 times in the last 6 years.
Look at them. What a fall off.
Yeah, they sure fell off. You're right about that.
Crazy.
Because what sport's more damaging than football?
There ain't none that I know of, sir. Maybe hockey, the next closest.
No, they play 80-something games in hockey. So these guys stitch up and go again. Football.
A season is 80-something games in hockey?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And we're not even talking about the playoffs, round robins. Those are games of 7, those series.
So they play almost as much games as a basketball team.
Yeah, it's about similar to basketball.
How many games a week they play?
Sometimes they could play 2-3 a week.
Wow.
And traveling too.
Yeah.
Why don't they play hockey players as much as the other sports?
Hockey players get paid, not as much as baseball. Who pays the most? Baseball?
I think basketball does.
I don't know. There's some crazy fucking salaries in baseball.
I think it's baseball. Well, if you really want to get technical, it's soccer.
No, it's soccer, but I'm talking North America.
Yeah, I think it's baseball.
Because you want to talk, if I knew I could be that skilled at soccer and go to Europe and make that kind of money, I would have played soccer before anything else.
Because baseball has no salary cap, right? So,
highest paid sport. Soccer. What's the second highest? They don't say.
Maybe we should ask top 10 paid sports. Top 10 highest paid sports.
This got to be wrong.
I know cricket's up there.
I saw something to say badminton. There ain't no way. Oh. Top 5.
Yeah, I don't think it's badminton either.
If that's the case, I better just go practice now.
Facts.
Top 5 highest paid sports. This year said basketball, but that can't be right. It says NBA, NFL, then Major League Baseball. Then it says hockey.
No way the NFL pays more than baseball.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They said total salaries in the NBA is over $4 billion.
Maybe you should play the highest paid player.
They're saying the total salaries, all salaries add together, in the total NBA is over $4.6 billion. In the NFL is over $6.75 billion. In the Major League Baseball is over $3.3 billion. In hockey, it's over $2.5 billion. I don't know what
but there could be a lot more players on the team in football opposed to basketball. So it would have to be based on per capita. Because some of these teams, like hockey teams, only have 22 players.
Yeah. And football has 55 players on a team.
You know? So if you take their total salary into effect, that's a little different. But if you look at the highest paid player in each individual sport, I would like to think the highest paid player per year is a baseball player in North America.
Yeah, I agree.
It might be, bro.
Them Puerto Ricans are getting paid, yo.
I'd take either one.
Because I know the highest paid player of all time is a soccer player who just got a deal like maybe about a year ago. And it was like huge. I can't remember the number, but it was fucking huge.
I think the highest paid hockey player per year in hockey is something like 14 million.
Wow.
Yeah. 14, 15 million max. I know baseball, there's some guys making 50-something million a year.
Yeah.
What's A-Rod making?
He don't play anymore.
No, I'm talking the new one. What's his name?
Oh.
That big guy, the steroid guy for the big head guy on Yankees. 6'9" guy.
I'm reading this article here, and it says the average basketball player salary in the NBA is $8.5 million. The average.
Average, okay.
The average baseball player is 4.9. The average Formula One racer is $4 million. The average soccer player is $3.9 million. The average hockey player is $3.5 million. The average football player is $2.7 million. The average PGA golfer is $1.4 million. And the average UFC fighter is $150,000.
Damn.
The average NASCAR driver is $112,000, and the average pro boxer is $51,000.
That's why that sport's dying out, I guess.
I ain't lying. Boxing, I thought boxing. Man, look at like $4 million. That's like made billions in one night.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We're talking about the average, right? If you talk about the top, that number is totally different.
Yeah.
Right? Because Tyson was making what, like 20, 30 million a fight?
Yeah, it don't make no sense how much money he was making.
Yeah. So.
All right, gentlemen, that wraps up the show. I asked 6 questions. I thought it was a very good conversation, and I enjoyed it as always. Before we get out of here, Mr. Roberto, where can the people find you at, good sir?
Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock, with my good man above me, Mr. Biggaford Entertainment, which is Mr. Nzo, done it right. 9 o'clock Wednesday, and obviously here, 5 o'clock, 4:30, 4 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Mr. Nzo, Biggaford Entertainment, where the people can find you at, good sir?
You can find me on my channel, Biggaford Entertainment. You can find me here doing Square One. You can find me, like Roberto said, on the OOC. Sometimes you can find me chilling with Low Key and some other YouTubers, man. But thanks for having me, Donnie. It was fun.
Yes, sir.
Always, bro. Hey, I'm the host, Danny Graham. You can find me on a multitude of places. Monday nights, you can find me on our channel, Chaos Central. You can find me on Wednesday nights on the Hangout with Guy Scar and his fellas. You can find me sometime OOC with these 2 gentlemen right here. Saturday nights, definitely you can find me. This Sunday, you can find me tomorrow doing that last episode of Loki. Thank you, Lord. And Sunday, you can find me on Storms Live, but we won't be doing that for 2 weeks because Mr. Rob is on his honeymoon. So we'll be back here in another 2 weeks. But, man, always Saturdays, whenever we can do it. Like Roberto said, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever time permits. But Please check us out. We definitely enjoyed the conversation. And any last words, Jim, before we get out of here?
Peace.
Yeah, no, I got nothing. I got nothing. Yeah.